Hello there. So in this very short little video we're going to look at the link between genes, enzymes and phenotype, and the example that we look at is albinism. So how can enzymes affect phenotype? Well, in albinism, when people or animals are albino, it's a situation where the production of the pigment melanin, which is what creates a darker skin colour, it creates a darker colour in the irises of the eyes, where that melanin is not produced. So in albino individuals, you end up with very, very light skin, light hair, so almost white hair, and sometimes you get pink eyes. There are actually lots of different forms of albinism. Their inheritance varies slightly, so there's several different gene loci involved, but generally we would say that it is an autosomal recessive disorder, and that's how the inheritance tends to work with most forms of albinism. So in terms of how it works in terms of the enzymes, we start off with an amino acid called tyrosine. So this amino acid is the precursor for melanin, and the first thing that happens is the tyrosine gets turned into a molecule called dopa. That then turns into something called dopaquinone, which then turns into melanin. So this pathway here is how we end up with melanin. If you don't have melanin, then that would be a situation where you have albinism. So tyrosinase, this is the enzyme. So tyrosinase, the enzyme, is responsible for the conversion of tyrosine into dopa. So without the enzyme tyrosinase, tyrosine can't get turned into dopa, which means that this stage and this stage then can't happen. So the whole pathway is disrupted. So in terms of this being an inherited disease, albinism being inherited, being a genetic disease, that's because the enzyme is a protein and therefore there is a gene that codes for the enzyme tyrosinase. So with albinism, there's a mutation in that gene, which means that the enzyme tyrosinase is faulty, which means that dopa can't be produced, dopaquinone can't be produced, and then melanin can't be produced either. So we go from a mutation in the gene to a faulty enzyme, which then affects this metabolic pathway, which means that melanin is not produced, and that then means that the phenotype is altered. The person will have white skin, white hair, pink eyes. And that's it.